Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we go and start the playoffs for the second round here for the round of 12. We come in to this round 17 points to the good, Kevin Harvick 39 to the good, so he's in pretty good shape coming into this second round. But in the Xfinity Series, we had William Byron, of course, as our playoff driver in the car, as he didn't have the greatest qualifying position down here in about P15, as he quickly dropped to 16th for a moment, but he would be able to work his way back up, and he would work his way through the field here as he got into the top 10 past the midway point, now closing in towards the final points of this race as he was battling with on the inside of Christopher Bell there for the 9th position. He would take that spot, but that was as far as William would get as he came now towards the final lap in through turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time here in Dover. William Byron is going to exit turn 4, and he's going to come through to finish in the 9th position for us in the Xfinity Series race. So a solid top 10 for William here in Dover, and certainly going to be helpful in this playoffs because obviously Dover was the elimination race here for the Xfinity Series. So William, he did advance into the next round, and now it's time to set our sights on the Cup Series race at Dover track. We've got a couple wins at in our career, but it's going to be a bit of a setback because in qualifying I made a bit of a mistake getting onto the apron, and I would spin the car out hitting the outside wall, and this will certainly be a setback going into the race because we will start dead last now as we get ready to go into Dover.
Today, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series playoffs picks up in Dover, Delaware. This race marks the beginning of the round of 12 after 4 drivers were eliminated in Charlotte last week. If those remaining 12 wish to move on, they'll have to conquer the formidable Monster Mile, a concrete oval with 24 degrees of banking in the turns and 9 degrees of banking in the straights. The drivers are ready. Miles the Monster is ready. So pull up a chair. NASCAR Playoff Racing is coming up next.
All right, we're ready to go green here at Dover. Jimmie Johnson is on the pole. Jamie McMurray failed optical scanning station multiple times, so he's sent to the back. He's had horrible luck in the playoffs. Denny Hamlin failed technical inspection, so he will start in the back as well. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. an engine change, so he starts in the back. So we move up 3 positions from 40th to 37th as we get ready to go green here in Dover. Like I said, our teammate Jimmie Johnson on the pole looking for his final win before we take over his car next season as the green flag is out in the first race of the round of 12 is underway. Obviously, qualifying, it wasn't good for us. We crashed in turns 1, so a bit of a setback for myself. But if we can get in towards a top 10 position here before the stage is over, then we still can keep up these good points runs. Hopefully, obviously, we need a good run today because we don't want to go into Talladega in trouble because we always struggle at Talladega with speed. And if we have trouble at Talladega, then we got to go to Kansas, another track I struggle at. So certainly, this is really the toughest round on the schedule, I think, for me. So if we can just get through this round, I'm very confident with what we can do with the rest of the season now as we completed that first lap, moving up into P35 past Ryan Truex, looking to the inside of Ryan Preece, and we were moving our way through the field pretty quickly now as we were looking to the inside there. Parker Kligerman going down into the third turn. Denny Hamlin just behind me on my right hand side for a moment, and yeah, like I said, we were moving through pretty quickly. We would jump up to the outside, and that's when I really started to move forwards as we came to lap 4. Now up to P32, passing Bubba Wallace there on the outside, making a little bit of contact there with Bubba Wallace, but we would get up into the top 30 and continue moving forwards as we would get up in towards a top 20 positions now as we came to P11, or lap 11, sorry, in P21, trying to make a pass to get into the top 20 on the outside of our teammate of Alex Bowman, who got eliminated from the playoffs in the last episode at the Roval with a wild finish. Obviously, we came up short, finishing second there as we made a move into the last chicane, ended up wrecking the car into the outside wall, but as we come through, crossing the line up into P17, passing Brad Keselowski here with 18 to go on the stage, as well as passing Chris Buescher. So we would move up to P16, and as we came through another few laps later, we had run down this next group of cars, and there's this whole group of cars being led by Jimmie Johnson, and everyone was stuck because Jimmie Johnson, unfortunately, was much slower than his qualifying time, and no one could actually get past him at this point. So this was a huge advantage to myself as I would be able to easily run these guys down as we came to lap 17 of 29 in this first stage. So once again, like I said, Johnson so much slower than the way he qualified, so he was holding everybody up. But as we came through with 8 to go now, drivers starting to get aggressive ahead of us. us as they're actually going to go 4 wide as Newman sticks his nose on the inside, so I back out of the throttle thinking that someone's going to get nailed into the wall, but they somehow all keep it clean, and we would hold on to P15 at the moment. But even for myself, it was really hard to get through traffic because obviously these two lanes just kind of stuck together. And Jimmy Johnson, though, as it came to 3 to go in the stage, Johnson would finally lose the lead to Eric Jones, who would come through and take over that front position. Chase Elliott would move through to second, and once these guys started passing Jimmy Johnson, everybody started passing Jimmy Johnson as it came through now on the white flag, though, still stuck behind Truex and Logano. There you see Johnson leading this little group as the other 4 cars up ahead have gotten away. Now as we head out of turn 2 for the final time, here in stage 1, the caution would come out half a lap early, and this stage would obviously end early, and we would get P11, 1 spot short of a point now, as we would have to come to pit road to take 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires. Clint Boyer did pass Eric Jones there before the caution came out to get the stage victory. Now as we come out, P11, as we get ready to start the second stage. Certainly hoping to get some stage points here in stage 2 to make up for the stage 1 loss of points. Now as the green flag is out, and stage 2 is underway here behind Martin Truex Jr. in the number 19 Toyota Camry now, as it's 27 laps in this second stage. As we head down towards turns 1, Boyer and Jones on your front row as we come through the center of the corner. Ryan Newman looking to my outside. He is no longer in the playoffs, as well as go down the back straightaway side by side with the 22 of Joey Logano's going to turn 3 on the inside. As far as you see just how much speed Jimmy Johnson's lacking. Look how far he has disconnected himself from the back of the 9 as we easily blow past Jimmy Johnson and move up into the 8th position behind Martin Truex Jr. now. As we come through turns 1 and turns 2, he's going to move up the track just in front of me as we try to make a move on the outside as we exit turn 2, heading down the back straightaway side by side now with the 19 of Truex as we go down towards turns 3. And we're going to hang on his outside as we come through the center of the corner now as he gets clear for a moment, but we fight back on the outside out of turns 4, and we would be able to get ahead of Truex now as we came to turns 1 and turns 2 now on lap 4 in the stage. Moving ahead of Kyle Larson as we went down the straightaway into turn 3, we would clear Larson and take over P6, but that was as far as I would get through the rest of the stage now. As we waste no time cutting to lap 23, I was stuck here in P6 behind Eric Jones, though, but a caution would come out with about 5 to go in the stage, and we would get ready for a 1-lap shootout here, as I couldn't find who brought out the caution, but you see a bunch of guys pitting down there towards the back. Obviously, I'm not going to pit because we need points, so now Clint Boyer and Kyle Busch lead the way as it's going to be a 1-lap shootout here in the second stage. Elliott and Kurt Busch on the row in front of me. Boyer obviously pretty much has a stage 1 as long as he doesn't make a terrible mistake through turns 1 and turns 2 now as we come through these corners for the final time. In stage 2 behind us we got Almirola and Truex. Kyle Larson on my inside, who we had a great battle with there at the end of the Roval last episode. He came out on top in that one as we go through turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time here in stage 2. Elliott holds on to that position ahead of me now as we exit the corner. Boyer wins stage 2 and we edge out Kyle Larson for the 6th position. So Boyer wins both stage 1 and stage 2, so he's certainly looking strong here as we head towards the final stage. We would come to pit road again to take 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires, and all those cars that just pitted before the end of the stage stay out. So we drop 18 positions along with the cars ahead of us who drop 18 positions with Boyer as well now as the green flag is out, and we are underway for the 3rd and final stage here in Dover. Certainly got a work cut out for us in this final stage now, as it is just 38 laps to go at this point as we go down towards turns 1 and turns 2. Elliott there on my inside as we come through the center of the corner. It certainly felt like the outside at this point was going to be the best lane to be in, considering how many slow cars we got up ahead. We got obviously 18 slower cars up ahead in front of us right now as we come through turns 3 and turns 4. Right now I was pretty much stuck on this outside lane as we head down, coming through to complete that first lap in this final stage. Behind us we got Bowman and Almirola side by side as I decide now it's time to jump up to the top as we come through the center of the corner, looking to the outside of Kurt Busch just about, but he stays clear as we go down the back straightaway. But we do get ahead of Eric Jones as we go down into turns 3, trying to look up to the outside once again, but we get into the back of the 1 of Kurt Busch now as we come on the exit of the corner. We're actually going to get to his outside as we go down the straightaway, and we clear Kurt Busch and move into P23 now as we came to just a few laps later, 35 to go. Chris Buescher would be up in that outside lane, kind of blocking my kind of approach, so I had to find a way to get down to the inside, and we would find that way to the inside as we came through another few laps later. Lap 69 we would get up to P20, now moving up into P19 as I dropped down to the bottom, but then I get right back up to the top as I see it's certainly wide open now with 31 to go to move up to the top. And you see Kyle Busch up ahead, utilizing the top as well as he is quickly passing all these cars, and I was coming through as well very quickly as we came now to lap 70. Another lap later, Busch clearing that group of cars, and we would come through passing Joey Gase here on the outside as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2, trying to move ourselves into a top 10 position as we come through the center of turns 1 and turns 2. Now passing McMurray to take over P10 as we went down the back straightaway, getting ahead of Haley Deegan as well. And Kyle Busch, he would struggle right there to get past Parker Kligerman, but he would get past him, but we would run down Kyle Busch as we came through on lap 76. He was getting through another group of cars, and this allowed me to get right up to his back bumper now as we hit 24 to go, moving up into the 4th position behind 3rd place of Kyle Busch. We would clear that group of cars and continue to try and chase down the 18 of Kyle Busch and get past him as we came through turns 3 and turn 4 with 20 to go at this point. Last time we came to Dover earlier this season, Kyle Busch was the driver we were battling for the win with, and now as we came to lap 85, we had run down the next 2 cars, the 2 leaders of Bubba Wallace and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. As we go down the straightaway, though, caution would come out here, and because of Jamie McMurray, shocker there, he's brought out so many incidents here recently, has had so much trouble, but now the green flag is back out, and it's just 13 laps to go here in Dover. Obviously, we decided not to pit as Bubba Wallace and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. lead the front row as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2. Kyle Busch on that inside certainly has the advantage at the moment now as we exit turn 2, heading down the back straightaway here. We're going to try and look to the inside of Stenhouse as we go down into turn 3 behind the 18 of Kyle Busch. Bubba Wallace continues to lead as we come through the center of turn 3 and turn 4, now exiting the corner, clearing Stenhouse for that 3rd position as we come down the front straightaway, pushing the 18 of Kyle Busch now as we hit 12 to go as we're going to try and look to his outside, but then I fall back in line in the 3rd position now as we exit turn 2. A chance maybe to look to the inside of Kyle Busch as we head down towards turn 3, and now we're going to look down as we go into turn 3, but he's going to jump up to the top and he's going to go around the outside of the 43 of Bubba Wallace. So obviously now we need to get up to the outside as well and make sure we complete the pass on the 43 because we hit 11 to go. We're running out of time here to make a move for this lead because the tires are wearing quickly, and Kyle Busch is getting faster compared to my tires by the lap now. As we exit turn 2, heading down the back straightaway, we would pass the 43 of Bubba Wallace and take over that 2nd position. Myself and Kyle Busch would then drive away from the field as we came to lap 93, just 8 laps to go as we exit turn 2, and now there's trouble behind. The 13 of Ty Dillon's blowing up and he collects Chase Elliott and Parker Kligerman as they go into the outside wall as a caution is going to come out late again here in Dover as this sets up for another late race restart as the green flag is back out and we are underway. It's only 5 laps to go once we cross the line. Can we beat Kyle Busch? We had 5 laps to go last time at Dover with the late race restart, but we were on the inside, and that's what kept me in it this time. The kind of tides are reversed. Busch on the inside, myself on the outside, and you see how bad of a restart I get there as we go down the back straightaway, needing to clear the 43 of Bubba Wallace, and we do just about clear him through turn 3, but he's going to fight back on the inside. We know he's not fast enough to contend for a win, so we easily clear him down the straightaway, coming through with 4 to go at this point now, as we would not quite be able to get to Kyle Busch, unfortunately, as it came to a lap and a half to go now, approaching the white flag through turns 3 and turns 4. Once again, me and Kyle Busch had driven away from the slower cars as we exit turn 4 though, but Kyle Busch just had too much speed as we come through to take the white flag as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2. At this point, hoping he has some type of issue. Obviously, the playoffs have gone really well for us so far. We've had 1 second place finish at the Roval. We've had a win at Las Vegas. We had a top 10, I believe it was, at Richmond. And now as we come through turns 3 and turns 4 for this first race in the round of 12, Kyle Busch comes out of turn 4. He will lock himself into the round of 8 in Dover with a victory. And we come through to finish second for the second race in a row here in Dover. Now, unfortunate, obviously, we are no stranger, like I said, in the past to second place. We've had so many second place finishes in our career mode. Kevin Harvick all the way down in 36 right there. That's going to be a big hit to him in the playoff grid, and you're about to see that on your screen. Kevin Harvick came into this race 39 points to the good. He leaves 4 points to the good, and now we are 20 points to the good, so we gain a couple points in advantage. Kurt Busch 3 points out, Joey Logano 15, Keselowski and Hamlin almost 40 points out, so they're certainly in trouble, but 20 points to the good going into Talladega, not really safe, because I usually struggle to get points in stage 1 and 2 in Talladega, so it's going to be a tough next 2 races if we want to stay inside of this playoff. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very, very appreciated, and then the next one one, we go to Talladega, one of the tracks I'm a little concerned about. The next two tracks I'm very concerned for, so we're going to see how it goes. But Hamlin and Keselowski, unless they have an incredible run in Talladega, they're going to be in a must-win situation and make it to the next round. So I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.